Chris Drury and the New York Rangers are secretly planning something big, as multiple reports at this point have linked a former Rangers head coach back to the team to join Mike Sullivan's coaching staff. We're going to break down who this coach is because it's going to have Rangers fans absolutely fired up, what his role will be with the team, and some other details in these reports that will, again, have Rangers fans absolutely fired up. We're going to break it all down in this episode of Rangers Digest. But before we do that, a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. About 74% of you who watch these videos aren't subscribed to the channel. So if you want to stay up to date with everything that's happening with the New York Rangers, because again, it's a busy offseason. They just hired a brand new coach. They're trying to figure out what's going on with this coaching staff. And there's a lot to do with that in this video. And of course, a lot of offseason moves coming. Will Chris Kreider stay? Won't he? It's going to be very interesting. You don't want to miss any of it. It's free. Go down below, hit that subscribe button. But let's dive right into it. We have a bunch of reports and conflicting reports, so it's going to be a fun video on John Tordella rejoining the New York Rangers. Now, it's not official yet, far from official at this point, but we got to talk about it because it's being talked about, and there are things flying around from notable reporters on either end. There's so many conflicting reports with this. Let's dive right into it. This is from Emily Kaplan of ESPN, and she goes on to say that John Tortorella did speak with the Rangers, but will not be rejoining after all, and believes Sullivan's contract is for 5 years. This is something we're going to touch on in this video as well. His contract is for 5 years, and it's the most lucrative contract for an NHL head coach in the history of the NHL. He's getting paid the most by quite a bit. He completely reset the market. We kind of knew that, but that has been confirmed. So, first of all, Mike Sullivan, congratulations. New head coach, all of that, right? But now he's looking for a coaching staff. Will it be the same guys? Will it be Muse? Will it be Pekka staying around? We don't know. We're not sure yet. They're still interviewing to see if they will stay on with the team, and they're still doing their due diligence, they being the New York Rangers and Chris Drury, on who may join this coaching staff of Mike Sullivan. And clearly, John Tortorella did speak with the team, but he will not be rejoining the Rangers. But an interesting thing here now from Elliot Friedman. We also have Larry Brooks chiming in as well. This is from Elliot Friedman. I think the Rangers would have considered it a failure, and it would have been looked upon industry-wide as a failure if the Rangers hadn't convinced Sullivan to be their next head coach. So obviously some fallout there from, Sullivan being signed, and obviously the lucrative contract like we were getting into. But who's going to join his coaching staff? This is one of this is the highest paid NHL coach in NHL history, right? At this point, the richest coaching contract in NHL history, with Mike Babcock at $50 million over 8 years at the time with the Toronto Maple Leafs back in 2015. I don't know if Sullivan's going to beat that overall number, but he might beat the AAV. And again, his contract's for 5 years. So, and Elliot Friedman goes on to say that this had to happen for New York. I don't think there was a second option that would have been anywhere near as appealing to them and Sullivan. Honestly, Sullivan wanted to come to New York. Let's not forget that in all of this. This is not New York like, oh, please, Sullivan, come over. Mike Sullivan wanted to come here and take on this challenge with this team and coach the New York Rangers, and brings them instant credibility after an extremely difficult season. Now, this is from Emily Kaplan as well. Who's joining the coaching staff of this guy who's making the most money out of any coach in NHL history? Who's going to join this coaching staff? We don't know. Muse and Pekka, they're still in the mix. But Emily Kaplan, sounds like John Tortorella is a strong possibility to rejoin the organization as well. And again, this was right before her tweet here, but it just gives some more insight into what the Rangers are kind of looking at and doing right now. And Kevin Weeks and I have heard that John Tortorella was a strong possibility. David Quinn is not expected to follow Sullivan and will be a head coaching candidate, including in Pittsburgh. So David Quinn not coming over as well with Mike Sullivan to the New York Rangers. Now, this is from Arthur Staple, because there's a lot flying around in terms of John Tortorella meeting with the team, talking with the team. There's conflicting reports saying he didn't even meet with the team. I think they're keeping it very hush-hush in terms of what's actually happening, but Arthur Staples said, not sure if this is out there yet, but seems as though the Tortorella to New York thing isn't true. He won't be on Mike Sullivan's staff as far as I know. That is from Arthur Staple of The Athletic. And a lot of people, because again, there's a lot of stuff flying around about John Tortorella, and this is from Larry Brooks. I wouldn't exclude the possibility that John Tortorella would join the New York Rangers organization in some capacity in the front office. So it might not be on the coaching staff. And this is something we talked about going back as far as early last week, that he can come in as like an advisor type for Mike Sullivan. He can come in and work in the front office rather than the coaching staff, as an assistant, as a head coach, what have you. So it's going to be very interesting because this is from Brooks, Larry Brooks, and this is new. So again, there's conflicting thoughts amongst the fan base, obviously conflicting reports as well, because, you know, Larry Brooks, I mean, take what he says with a grain of salt, right? So because of everything, of course, but you know, just the reaction from the fan base right now. Reports of John Tortorella joining the Rangers coaching staff. Oh, the organization is sick of the players complaining. They have had enough. So, you know, there's a lot of that going on in terms of bring John Tortorella in, right? I've seen that side of things from everyone out there. Bring John Tortorella in. He's going to straighten out everybody. I don't think it's that simple, right? I think a lot of these guys on the team want to be New York Rangers. I just think it was under their terms and conditions, and it's just not going to be the case. So if you don't want to be here, Chris Drury will find you a new place to go, and we're concerned about making the New York Rangers into a very good team. So I'm hoping that's what this brings, but we'll see. Again, by all accounts and reports from Arthur Staple, from others, it's not happening, right? It's not happening. And now this is from Adam, and I think this was very interesting, an interesting tweet as well, that the potential of John Tortorella as an assistant coach or even an advisor or anything in the front office would allow him to do two things that he enjoys the most: teach, right, and not talk to the media. Hates talking to the media. I mean, we know John Tortorella has a fantastic relationship with Larry Brooks, right, dating back to the first time he was in New York. So obviously sarcasm there, but you know, there's a lot in terms of, you know, what Tortorella can bring to the organization. So it's going to be very interesting. And again, from Larry Brooks, he wouldn't exclude the possibility that, you know, it's not looking likely from Arthur Staple and both him and Emily Kaplan, even Kevin Weeks, that, you know, he's going to join on the coaching staff. It's looking very unlikely at this point, even though there were talks, multiple reports of, yes, they were talking to him about it. And of course, the head coaching position as well, but doesn't look like that's the case. But could end up joining the front office in some capacity. So let me know in the comments what you think about John Tortorella rejoining the New York Rangers organization. One last thing I wanted to get into as well before we wrap up here is, and we touched on this in a previous video very quickly, but again, there was news of it yesterday, and just another congratulations to Joe Micheletti on a great and tremendous broadcasting career. This is Kenny Albert, the new voice of the New York Rangers, sending a farewell and, you know, congratulations on a tremendous career. So one last shout out to Joe Micheletti, who, you know what, very classy. Didn't mention this in my last video. Very, very classy of him to put all of that and the fact that he knew he was retiring aside for the spotlight to go on Sam Rosen. I think that's absolutely, like, that is tremendous. That is so classy of him, and you know, he deserves his moment as well, and the congratulations and everything that he's getting online right now. So absolutely phenomenal career for Joe Micheletti, and, you know, again, the fact that he stepped aside and kept this, like, very quiet throughout the whole season so Sam Rosen could get his roses for his tremendous career. I mean, I think that's, you know, one of the classiest things I've seen. So shout out to both of them for tremendous careers. But that'll wrap it up for this episode of Rangers Digest. Let me know in the comments what you think of John Tortorella possibly joining the team and some of the new reports and conflicting reports, and not even conflicting reports, conflicting rumors. There's so much out there right now, but let me know in the comments what you think about him possibly joining the front office. I don't think that would be a bad thing. Keep him away from the head coaching position by all means, and they did that with Mike Sullivan. Very happy about that move in the front office. Could be interesting. We'll see. We'll see what Chris Drury has up his sleeve this offseason, because he's got to make some good moves here, right? He just signed that extension, but to keep the faith with the Rangers fan base, he's got to make some good moves here. So I'm interested to see what he's going to end up doing. But let me know what you think in the comments, and if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with everything New York Rangers.